Oh, you have to love the more than likely right wing Trumpism caucasity on this one right here. And actually, you can find this same kind of mentality in the left wing Bidenism caucasity as well. This is obviously someone who has absolutely no idea as far as the history of America and the current situation in America, and definitely doesn't understand or know the plight of a black man or a black woman in America either. Because this foolishness says police respond to crime, not to color, not to color of their skin. Really, really. You obviously are walking around in some utopian mindset when you believe that police officers do not notice the different skin tone of the persons to which they are supposedly policing. You obviously don't notice the disproportionate number of black men who are killed, unarmed black men who are killed. You don't notice the disproportionate in sentencing by judges where a black man can commit the same crime as a white man, but yet end up with way more years of imprisonment. You obviously are unaware of the number of black people that are not allowed to buy houses because of redlining. You are quite unaware of what goes on in this so-called United States of America for you to even make that first part of your statement. And then you said, let's hope that people will jump on and water down the bandwagon you create. It says it may save towns and cities being burnt to the ground if you change your habits, and other people will have a different view of you and will and your ilk. My ilk. Thank you for the caucasity of my ilk. Uh, but to say that you hope that people will jump on the bandwagon and that I create, and you want to make sure it gets watered down. So you have a problem with a black man who comes on here and talks about the fact that black people should be purchasing homes in their communities, that black people should be involved in the PTSAs, that black people should be knowledgeable about who they're selecting for their local superintendents and sheriff's offices. You're saying that you want to water down the fact that I was saying that black businesses need to be ran better and black people need to support those businesses in their community. You want those things to be watered down because you want to make sure that it may save towns and cities from being burnt to the ground. Are you suggesting that the caucasity is going to come and burn down the city, or are you suggesting that black people are going to riot and burn down someone else's city if we don't get what we want? But in almost everything that I said, everything that we want is something that we do for ourselves and not something that we expect someone else to do. You are clearly demonstrating the caucasity of your mentality and the right wingedness or the super left wingedness of your caucasity in this video, in your statement. And I hope that there are many of my ilk who realize that until we step up and take over our communities, until we step up and support and run our own businesses, until we step up and decide who are going to be the politicians held accountable for and hold them accountable in our local election and make sure that our children are learning what they should be learning, that you want those people to be watered down. But I'm looking forward to my people growing in that instance, that we step against your caucasity and your mentality of white supremacy that would rather keep a group down. Do you even realize that if America truly wanted to be the greatest country in the world, that what it would do is invest in all of its people, that it would set aside all the rules and laws that creates redlining, it would ensure that police officers are not over policing any one community, and that sentencing is done properly and correctly. It would make sure that America is not the country that imprisons the majority of its own people than any other country in the world, but yet provide equal opportunities in every school for every child to be able to learn equally. It would allow everybody to have equal competition in this country if America truly wanted to call itself the greatest country in the world. But that's not what happens in America. America consistently will try to shut down any minority group that is aspiring to increase their financial standing in this country, increase their political standing in this country, and increase their community standing within this country. Because the Anglo-Saxon white male, Caucasian male, excuse me, because you're not pure, would always, is always, and have always in this country tried to make sure that they maintain the upper hand on the rest of the people in this country. So I am glad that you are demonstrating your caucasity, and I appreciate you. And remember always, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations. Oh.